A view of the old stove stand from the hang-on tree stand. It's a nice hardwood opening. On the 19th of November, I was here hunting and shot a nice 10-point buck. I could hear the deer walking in the snow from this direction, and so I got ready and saw the first deer. Didn't know what it was, and I could hear a second one, and I caught a flash of an antler through an opening, and it was a nice buck. So I got ready, and he came right into that patch of green right there and made a scrape. Meanwhile, the first deer had walked out across this opening and went to the apples over here. And suddenly that buck came bursting out of there with his neck stretched out, nose to the ground, and started chasing that doe. And they ran down to the bottom of that opening. They were over into the right side of the woods. They were over into the left side of the woods. They made kind of like a little circle down there. And I think the buck was a little exasperated, and he stopped, and the doe deer got 3 or 4 bounds ahead of him and was almost to the apples there. And I thought, man, I'm not going to get a shot at him, because there wasn't a very good shot at the back of that opening. Anyway, suddenly he comes running up, and I thought, this is my only chance. And I didn't want to take a head-on shot. The doe deer ran across that opening, so I aimed right down in that opening, and when that buck followed her through and he filled my scope, I squeezed the trigger. I thought I saw him hunch, but I wasn't sure. They took off up into the woods, and I could only hear one deer running. So I thought, is that the buck or is that the doe? And anyway, I waited a few minutes listening in the event that I'd hit the buck and might hear him down on the ground. Didn't hear anything, so I sat here for a while, probably about 5 minutes. And then I could hear something walking, and I thought, man, there's a deer coming back. And sure enough, the doe deer came back out and walked across that opening and went over to the apples. So I watched her for about 5 minutes, and nothing else showed up, and I couldn't hear anything, so I thought I might as well get a picture. So I took a picture of her, and I had forgot that my cell phone was on flash, so that drew her attention. She saw me, and was looking at me, staring at me, and then suddenly just took off down through that opening. So that gave me the opportunity to get out of the tree and go look where I had fired. And I got over there, and there was quite a few deer tracks, so it was hard to see just where he was. But I knew roughly where he went into the woods on the other side, so I just followed the tracks a little bit, and sure enough, I found a little spot of blood. So I knew I'd hit him, and I took a few more steps and looked ahead, and I could see blood in the snow. You gotta love it when snow is on the ground. And so I took a few more steps and looked up through the woods, and I could see him laying there dead. I was pretty happy. He'd only gone about 25, maybe 30 yards at the most. Found out that I hit him right through the chest, and with a little bit of luck, the bullet hit a rib and splintered it, and basically cut his heart right in half. Anyway, I was pretty happy. A beautiful 10-point buck. And on top of that, of course, my 2 boys and grandson were here, and it's a hunt I will not soon forget.